Melon Bread, Seven Force, Pinky Rhoda. These seem like random words to many, but to players of a certain Mega Drive game, they're some of the greatest bosses ever seen in video games, and they return in the game that I'm about to review, Gunstar Future Heroes. As a sequel, Gunstar Future Heroes, as the game was called here in Europe, the rest of the world knows it as Gunstar Super Heroes, doesn't feel particularly necessary, yet its existence is practically justified by the achievement of being an almost carbon copy of the classic Mega Drive game in a tiny portable form. And in 2005, a time when we couldn't emulate console games on our smartphones, this was a very welcome thing indeed. Let's face it, it will be very difficult to create a sequel that bettered the majesty of the original game. For better or worse, Treasure felt the same way, giving the Game Boy Advance a title that repackages the game we all love, but still delivering those classic moments that made the original into a massive hit. It's still got everything you love from the first game: fast-paced shooting action, a tough but fair challenge, multiple weapons, and of course Black's silly dice maze. While all of these things have been changed around a bit for the sequel, and not always for the better, there's a familiarity to Future Heroes that will certainly warm the heart of returning fans. So why don't we talk about the new stuff? The beloved weapon combination system has been stripped out and replaced by the option to select from 3 or 4 weapon types right out the gate. The game can be played separately as both red and blue Gunstars, which changes the 3 available weapon types you start with. Also, the free and fixed shot modes that dictated whether or not you could run while shooting has been replaced by a more flexible method of holding the R button down while moving or while standing still to activate different fixed shot modes. This new system works incredibly well once you get to grips with it, offering offensive options that you could only dream about in the original game. You're also given a brand new supercharge meter that is filled up when enemies are attacked and can be used to power up each of your standard weapon attacks. While the throw attacks from the original game have been removed, this has been replaced with a more dynamic system of close range attacks such as sword swipes, uppercuts and triangle kicks that are activated using different combinations of the D-pad and jump button. All of these mechanics help to differentiate Future Heroes from its predecessor, even if the levels fail to do so. While there are a handful of mini-games found as you rush through the game's 7 levels, all inspired by classic Sega games like Flicky, Thunderblade and Afterburner, the levels themselves are very much inspired by the levels that came before, complete with the same bosses performing very similar attacks. Pinky Rhoda still has a mech in Moon 1, while Moon 3 features a familiar anti-gravity Minecraft level, culminating in the return of Gunstar Green's 7 Force boss, which is still as tough as before. In fact, this is a pretty tough game all around, with your progress being saved after every level, and on top of that, saving your place at specific checkpoints that you can revisit. Even with the small number of levels here and all those opportunities to save your progress, there's enough of a challenge here to keep you engaged for quite a while. As you would expect from a system that's technically 32-bit in terms of power, the 16-bit look and feel has been replicated perfectly. Even for a tiny display, the sprites are easy to pick out, and despite the fact that you'll be seeing screens full of chaos for the majority of Gunstar Future Heroes, it's not too confusing to see what's going on. It looks like the Mega Drive original, and although the Game Boy Advance's sound capabilities are very different from that system, series composer Norio Hanzawa does an excellent job of retaining the feel of Gunstar Heroes' high adrenaline soundtrack, while even including a few familiar tunes in there for good measure. Black's dice maze returns in a different form, but is still as ridiculous as ever. At many times, Gunstar Future Heroes becomes almost too similar to its predecessor, its rehashed levels and enemies lacking the originality that drew fans to the original game in the first place.